Hello and welcome back to the Becoming Rich podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Monica. This is a space where we are becoming rich in self-worth, in love, and the life that you truly desire. This episode is going to be a little bit of a spicy one. We're really going to dive deep into what you need to look out for when you start dating someone, which obviously this you saw in the title. This is primarily about how he speaks about his ex. Now, I'm assuming a lot of you are women that are watching my podcast, but of course, this is also goes the other way. So what to look out for when a woman, he's talking about their ex. Because when you're dating, when you're starting to date, the way that they speak about their ex is going to say a lot about them. It's going to tell you their emotional maturity, their emotional intelligence, and their self-awareness. Those are three really big things that you need to look out for in a partner. And the way that they speak about their past relationships is going to tell you a lot in those categories, if they have them or not. Those three things were like my top on my list, because that is going to basically be the foundation of what our future together could be like. So those are like my number ones when I was looking for a partner. Like those were the things that I required in a relationship, or else there's no way that I could see growth in a partnership without those things. So this episode is going to kind of break down those three lenses so that you can kind of understand what each of one means. To be honest, if you already, a lot of people I feel like think that they know what it means without actually truly knowing what it means. So I want to dive deep into all three of them so that it allows you to really recognize these patterns in a person right from the get-go, so that you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting your valuable energy on people that you shouldn't. None of this is going to come from a place of judgment. I just want you to have discernment with people and allow them to tell you who they are through their actions and also through their words, because you will read right through them if you can really pick up on these things. So let's start with emotional maturity. Emotional maturity, when it comes to, again, talking about their ex-partners, is going to be in the way that they're able to reflect on the situation itself without having their emotions attached and consumed by it. So being able to reflect on maybe the lessons that they learned through it, take accountability for their part in it, and being able to regulate their emotions. That's really overall what emotional maturity is. Like being able to regulate your emotions, which is difficult for a lot of people. Okay? And taking accountability instead of being someone who is blaming their partner. Like, are they able to reflect or do they react? When a person is speaking about their ex, are they speaking from reflection or reaction? Those are two very noticeable energetic differences. You will know in the energy. Are they coming out angry? Because that's an emotion, right? So if you're showing anger through your ex-partner, you are emotionally still attached to that person. That, number one, is a red flag. Because if they are still angry about their past relationships, they are still attached to them energetically. As much as they try to say, no, I can't stand her, she was crazy, she was this. No, like, you see anger, that's an emotion, okay? Any kind of name calling, obviously, like, all of that just really is going to tell you a lot about the person's character, just in general. Of course, this doesn't mean that this person has not gone through a difficult situation, but an emotionally mature person is going to be able to process this in a healthy way. That person would say something like, that relationship was not aligned, it wasn't healthy, but I have learned so much from it, and this is what I've learned. As opposed to tearing that person down and shifting complete blame on that person. How someone processes their past is exactly how they're going to process the future. So if they can't reflect, then there's no growth. They're not going to be able to grow. If they can't themselves take accountability, how are they ever going to find anything healthy? You have to have two people that are willing to look at their shadows. If they can't take accountability, then how are they ever going to be able to sustain anything healthy? So that kind of trickles into the self-awareness part of it. Self-awareness is where things get really deep and is difficult for a lot of people. I think I saw the statistic where like majority of people think that they're self-aware and they're not. And I see that very, very clearly. Self-awareness is your ability to see your role in a situation, to recognize your patterns and your behaviors, and also your triggers. So when you get in a situation and your partner says something that's hurtful, you're triggered. So you're triggered by something that they said or something that they did, but instead of shifting the blame on they made me feel this way, someone who's self-aware is going to be able to have the understanding of why does this bother me? Why is this hurting me so much? And puts the finger back into themselves and figures out what that trigger is. What is that wound that's hurting me? Because then that self-aware person is going to be able to control themselves if they're emotionally mature and be able to regulate themselves and come from a place of understanding and empathy and compassion and just gentle communication. Like, let's just talk about this. I don't appreciate the way that you came at me. This is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling triggered, because I have a wound that came from this place, that place, da-da-da. So how can we both work on this together? How can we both heal this together? Instead of just shifting blame and not at all taking accountability of how you reacted might have come from a wounded place. But you wouldn't be able to see that if you weren't self-aware. So you see how like the dynamic is so important in a relationship, that both of you are on that same page. You both need to have that emotional maturity, have the self-awareness, so that when problems do come up, you're able to process it in a much lighter way. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say lighter, because my relationship feels challenging at times, because we're not ignoring anything. Like, we're literally not ignoring anything. When things come up and we are feeling triggered, we are immediately laying it out on the table. Like, I'm pretty good at seeing your patterns. So like, I will call him out and be like, okay, this is what I'm seeing, this is what's happening. But he has a self-awareness and he's able to like let go of that ego that I think a lot of men have, to be able to reflect. And because he wants to be better, he actually puts the work to be better. But I give him that space, that safe space to do so. You know? You both have to be like also willing to give each other the safe space to do that. So back to the self-awareness thing when it comes to exes, how they're speaking about their situation with their ex. Someone who's self-aware is going to say things like, okay, I ignored the red flags. Like, I saw there were a lot of things at the beginning, or I didn't see a lot of the things at the beginning until later on. And then just really reflecting on what you've learned, what you won't tolerate anymore. I mean, that's everything that dating is about learning what you will and won't accept and what you want, and finding what's more aligned for you. Like that's the entire point. There shouldn't be any of this like blaming. Like, it's so immature. And it's just, if someone is just looking at their partner as the problem, you're also going to be the problem. They're not going to be able to have the mental capacity to see themselves as a part of this as well. Like, you make your decisions, right? Like, you're a human being who makes your own decisions. You can't always blame everyone that you date. You have to put the power in your hands and look at the choices that you make. That's about, taking ownership. Overall, that's where your growth is going to happen. It's where you're being honest, not just with people and your partner, but with yourself. You're being honest with yourself. When someone lacks that self-awareness, then it's going to sound like it was all them. I did nothing wrong. They were the problem. Because again, someone that can't acknowledge and reflect on their own patterns is stuck in a cycle and is going to continue that cycle over and over and over again. So in my partnership, my man, from the very start of our relationship, like we both shared everything, shared as much as, made sense for us to know, because I learned so much about him. And it allows me, when I know what he's gone on in his past, it allows me to understand him as a human better. And because I have that knowledge about him, when I experience it, I can pick up on it like really quickly and not allow it to go any further. Because I could see, oh, remember that pattern you had before? It's coming up. And so now that I see the pattern, I can call him out and I can call out that pattern so that we're not repeating the cycle, we're breaking the cycle. Oh, it's just such a beautiful thing. Once you're aware of this shit, like when you put the work in on yourself, this is why the work is so important. Because when you put the work in on yourself, it benefits all of your relationships going forward. Because you can, obviously, you should not seek to be in a relationship where you feel like you need to change them, or that like you are going to be like their mother or anything like that. I'm against that. A man should only or will only heal and work on himself if he wants to. You can't force him to do anything. But in my situation, my man wants to. And I obviously love it. Like I thrive in being able to like pick patterns and break them and grow and develop. And this is like my shit. So it works and it makes sense. And it was helpful to learn all this information about his past. But again, I just want to say like how important self-awareness is. If you bring something up about him, so you know how I just said like I would bring up a pattern. If I brought up a pattern about to my partner and he didn't have any self-awareness, he might look at that as like a jab at his ego, or like I'm picking at him, or like he may take it personal. Whereas someone that's self-aware and actually recognizes that in themselves and recognizes like the work and how like it's important to recognize our own faults and wounds and weaknesses, and it's okay. Like having wounds and weaknesses doesn't make you like weak or lesser than. You're still incredible and amazing and perfect, but these are just parts of you that we can work on. Okay, so this all really just like ties in together so beautifully. Emotional intelligence. Okay, emotional intelligence is not definitely carried by many, but is literally the most important. Emotional intelligence is your ability to understand your emotions, to communicate them properly in a healthy way, and how you're navigating through your relationships. So when we're speaking about an ex, are they able to speak about them with composure, with respect? Is there emotional regulation? Or is there bitterness, anger, feeling like they need to prove a point, like they need to be validated in their experience? The way someone speaks about their past is going to tell you a lot about their current emotional state. From the outside, and seeing unhealed people are loud. It's so obvious. It's so obvious when you're on the other side of things. And like, listen, I'm speaking from my own experience as well. Like, I used to be someone that would go online and would talk all about my past and would talk the most shit and blah, 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 when I was in my 20s. I was immature. Looking back, it's embarrassing because to me, it screams for attention. It screams insecure. It doesn't look like someone that's seeking a healthy relationship. It doesn't seem like anyone that's speaking from a grounded place. What am I doing? Like, you know, there's a very big energetic difference from someone who is actually emotionally mature, emotionally intelligent, and coming from a place of wisdom and like what I've learned and how can I help you from everything that I've learned. We've all had our moments and we're all still healing. We all get triggered. We all have this. Emotional intelligence is being able to like not let it control you and control your behaviors, not turning that pain into projection, and not needing to tear someone down in order to feel understood. If you're someone that watches this podcast, then you are definitely emotionally mature, emotionally intelligent, and self-aware. So congrats to you. This is really about finding your man who has all those three things, because a man without those three things is going to be living hell. When I fell like even more in love with my man, it was this is gonna sound crazy, this is gonna sound like actually insane, but it was after like a pretty bad night with him, because he got triggered and immediately, I kind of brought this up, I immediately caught the wound, I caught the pattern, and I stuck with him. I was with him, I was composed, I didn't react, I was grounded, and I stood my ground and I just was with him. And I waited until his emotions and his nervous system came to a calm place, so nothing escalated. And once he was kind of like down, like once he kind of got out of that like high of emotions and he was able to like really see me and really connect with me, he could understand me and could understand his pattern in that moment. His trigger and his wound come up in that moment. And so the beautiful thing, and what made me like fell deeper in love with him, was seeing how much he cared to be a better person and a better partner for me. It's not about the trigger and like what the reaction was at first, it's how he showed up immediately after. But that never happened again. Because I was kind of like, listen, this is okay. Because again, I have wounds too. I have triggers too. I'm not perfect. I'm a human being. So I want him to give me the same like care that I'm giving him, right? So I'm willing to be here as long as we're working on this and this gets eliminated from us, from our relationship. And then that was it. It's like he is constantly working on himself, so it's gone. It doesn't happen anymore. Obviously, like I wrote like a whole list of like all the things that I desired in a man, in partnership, and honestly, truly, like as much as I love like all parts of him, the things that really, really are important to me and matter to me are his emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, and self-awareness. Because those things are really going to be the strongest foundation in our relationship that will get us through anything. While we're talking about men and how they're bringing up their ex and being able to learn all of these pieces about him through how he explains his past, you're obviously going to see it come up in so many different scenarios in your life. But I also want you to reflect within yourself of how you are also reacting to your past. Do you still judge yourself? Are you understanding why things had to happen the way that they did? Are you learning the lessons that it obviously came into your life to teach you? Are you just shifting blame because you don't want to be accountable? Are you, it's also not a good thing to just think everything is good, everything is happy, that's avoidance. Okay, like it's okay to recognize the problems and like where you went wrong and where they went wrong and what you could have done better. That's all about the learning in it. Are you still speaking about it through pain? Speaking about your past in an angry way, anger is still an emotion, which means you have not processed or healed fully through. Because when you're healed fully through. There's no need to speak ill on a person, especially any kind of name calling, any kind of degrading on that person. You can recognize things that you didn't appreciate, because it's not about being perfect on both ends. It's about being conscious. You can find out, obviously, about a person's character simple and easy through conversation, through experience, but nothing is going to tell you more about a person when they talk about their ex. So listen closely, not to judge, but to discern, because you deserve someone that's going to take responsibility, that's going to reflect on their experiences, and who shows up for you with emotional depth and maturity. But at the same time, be that person too. You have to be who you want to attract. If you are not that person yourself, there's no way that you're going to attract a partner that's like that. So don't forget that. When you're looking for someone, you always want to match that frequency in order to attract it. Okay, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.